Top Billin, Uptown Murf.
Top Billin.
Yo, Top Billin. I want to talk about Rayshawn Jenkins and how he's a severe upgrade over my man Jamal Adams, at least that version of Jamal Adams that we last saw. And how does his presence shape the draft for the Seattle Seahawks? But first, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend that Top Billin is where it's at, man. Let's get it. Listen, I've been a fan of my man Jamal Adams since his high school days and when he was going into LSU back when I was covering college football. He then gets drafted by my New York Jets and he plays all world. But his time in Seattle wasn't that. Maybe after the first year, but the last year's version of Jamal Adams was absolutely horrific. We know that Julian Love represented an upgrade over Jamal Adams, and we saw that when he was in the game just from sheer versatility. I mean, my man with this post joint right here, riding the stitches, coming through in Jakob. Come on, man. We know Jamal Adams doesn't have that in his arsenal, and we also know a young guy like Kobe Bryant, man, if called upon, can at the very least be able to force some turnovers, and he will be a better version of Jamal Adams in coverage, which isn't saying much because Jamal Adams was pretty much non-existent in coverage. And I know fans tend to forget about young guys who don't make a significant impact in their first season, but my man Jarek Reed was definitely flashing in the preseason, and I expect him to make his presence felt this season. Which brings me back to Rayshawn Jenkins. And not for nothing, while it seemed as though everyone else signed a one-year deal, Rayshawn Jenkins got 2 years, $12 million. Now that could be to move around some money, and we always know the second year is never really guaranteed and all that. But if you look at his play, I see why. Look at this man coverage rep against Travis Kelce, perhaps the best doing it in the business. That was clean. Check this out on this frame right here. Didn't pass interfere, took the correct angle. Matter of fact, let's go back on that. You can see it, right? Being patient, waiting for Kelce to declare, he rides that hip pocket and bang, breaks that bad boy up, right? Not to continue to get on my man Jamal Adams because that's my guy, and I expect him to get back to being Jamal Adams, but plays like that were few and far between for him. A strong safety in every sense of the word. He has strong safety size. He came out at 214 pounds. He's probably closer to 220 pounds now. As you can see here, man, he does work in the pass game. While this was a bad throw by Patrick Mahomes, you can see his instinct on this, right? Travis Kelce cutting under on this mesh concept. He has that makeup speed. The ball's a little bit behind, but you can see right there, man, he's on it. Johnny on the spot. Look at him bait and the great Lamar Jackson here in this match zone. Jakob, what are we doing here? Come on. He got Lamar good on this one, right? He played the space game on him. Look at him. Carry the route, stay behind it, and Jakob. We got to go back one more again on this one. Carry the route, stay back with the space, eyes on Lamar, jumps the pass, giving people vertigo, right? When the ball goes by you like that, man, you get vertigo. I love this play, even though it was negated by penalty. You can plainly see the instincts of him attacking this curl route. Receiver came out of it very lazily, but you see right here, it does not matter. His instincts is there. He's able to watch, diagnose, and pluck, getting himself a cherry pick. Mason hands, right? Anvil steel hands, couldn't catch the ball. Rayshawn Jenkins does not have those problems, and he gets after it when he does catch the ball too, showing that he's a very good athlete. You'd have to be a hater not to give Jamal Adams his props for physicality. Rayshawn Jenkins on that same line, bing! Look at that, going against South Jersey's Isaiah Pacheco. We felt that here in Jersey for that man, bang! A meeting of the minds, right? Both of these dudes were left taxidermied after this hit. This is a physical play, man. Oh, very much like an alley field, but look at head on the outside, wrap up around the waist. That is short tackling. And unfortunately, it got to the point to where Jamal Adams was bouncing off of tackles a lot, trying to play that hero ball and that cool tackling shit. That's goofy. On the other hand, Rayshawn Jenkins, a very selfless player, instead of taking himself out of the gap on this like a lot of guys would do, You see him come and approach the line of scrimmage in the run game, wall the block, stand him up with the stand your ground law, and force the ball carrier back into traffic. Watch him give you that great burst of speed that we would see from Jamal Adams approaching in the fabricated pressure game. Look at that. Filled on Lamar Jackson with a picture-perfect tackle. How many times did we see Jamal Adams get there and miss the tackle? Look at him, able to skirt the block, making my man Isaiah Likely whiff, and then brings his pads for a picture-perfect tackle on Lamar Jackson. We've seen Jamal Adams do that plenty of times, but then come up and whiff himself on the tackle. Now, this is what it's all about. You place a guy like this in your starting lineup, and he's just going to be solid all around. He may not be spectacular with any one aspect, but having him be solid and then really good in certain aspects, like tackling, spatial awareness, and all that. Look at that. Head on the outside on Jonathan Taylor gets him to the ground. Seattle did the damn thing. What does that mean for the NFL draft? I had a viewer ask me about Cooper DeJean, and I thought that was an interesting play there. To me, Cooper DeJean is one of these guys you're probably going to have to get in the first round. We know Seattle currently does not have a second-round pick. I would not take him with the 16th pick if I'm the Seattle Seahawks, just because of the guys that I mentioned there. Yeah, there's some on, or most of them are on short-term deals, but it's not like these guys can't be extended. So the 16th pick, it seems like you have more pressing needs on the interior as far as the offensive and defensive lineman goes. Now, as far as guys that could be in the third round, like a James Williams, people have asked me about this guy ad nauseum. I'll do something on James Williams if he's the selection. But if not, man, you're talking about a guy who ran a 4.65 40, didn't bench press, only has a 30-inch vertical leap. Yeah, he's 6'4", and you want to compare everyone who's that tall at the safety position to Cam Chancellor. Listen, man, I'm here to tell you, there's only one Cam Chancellor. In this day and age of how football is, I'm not so sure about a James Williams. Javon Bullard, though, if he's there in the third round and they really want to go with another defensive back long term, this is my guy right here. I believe him to be the top safety in the draft. So it's not that great a year for safeties, but I think Javon Bullard is one of these guys. Now, he should be a second-round pick, no doubt about it. The guy hits like nobody's business. That's the guy who took Marvin Harrison out in that semifinal game a couple of years ago. He has range. He has a corner in his background in college, so he's a nickelback, safety, and all of that. I think he will fit very well in a Mike McDonald scheme, and definitely one of these guys they should keep an eye on if they are there in the third round. But if they do trade back and get a second-round pick, if a guy like Cooper DeJean is there, by all means, definitely, long-term there. I just wouldn't take him with the 16th pick when you have those needs. And the same deal with Javon Bullard and several others as well. So we could talk about that when that bridge crosses. But I'm excited. The draft is here, baby. It's the penultimate day. We should be there in a couple of days. And keep it locked right here. Your boy, Jersey Murf, as always. Make sure you tip your waiter, baby. You know I'll be serving that hibachi. Who doing it better than I? Yeah, buddy. Much love to everybody out there, man. Salute to everybody in Washington State. Salute to everybody in Canada, Vancouver, right? Guys out in Oregon, and big love to people out in Northern California. Salute!
Top Billin, Uptown Murf.
Top Billin.